So Prasad, I mean, obviously you work with a lot of carriers, you have a lot of conversations with them, you've got a good pulse there as well. I mean, just to building on what Omar just said, I mean, what do carriers expect from their broker partners today?
I think, everything that Omar said was very nice, right? I mean, it's customers on both sides, right? So when brokers look at carriers as customers, the very first and foremost thing that these carriers look for, especially the small carriers, right? I mean, we're talking about 20 trucks or less that move over 90% of the freight in our space. They look for a strong, reliable partner in a broker that they can anchor their business around, right? So that becomes the core for them. So it could be just one broker that they're looking for. It could be a handful of brokers that they want based on their carrier network size, right? I mean, there might be 5 trucks, 10 truck guys, right? Or what lanes they drive. That, the core part, when you talk to every carrier, they'll say, hey, we want good brokers, trusted brokers that support us in our journey, right? That truly is what they ask for. And obviously, we've had the opportunity to really bring these guys and ask both the brokers and carriers what they want. And interestingly, both sides said, hey, we want transparency so we could build trust. So, you see this, there is a give and take too, right? Expanding on the thought of what carriers are looking for. If we break it down, it is reliable freight, consistent freight that they want, right? I mean, I'm a one truck guy, like Omar has this experience, and you can't ask for someone to understand more than what Omar has, right? I want consistent freight, every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, on those lanes. If a broker provides me that freight, I have very little to worry about where my next load is going to come from. And I think that certainty makes my business much better. That uncertainty of I don't know where I'm going to get my next load is very, very burdensome for a small carrier. And that's probably the biggest pain these guys go through.
Yeah, no, I think that, that's a great point. And I think that, you talked about, trust, you talked about kind of having that relationship, right? And it's one thing to say, I mean, I was kind of thinking about it, people say, well, equating it to friends, right? We may all have a lot of acquaintances, but really there's only, we could probably, true friends are, a small number and they're hard to come by, right? So I think it's similar here, right? I mean, you met a lot of brokers out there, right? And you can have acquaintances with them, but really, if I heard you right, Prasad, I mean, I think really what they'd like is to find those true friends that they trust, that are dependent, that are reliable, that are going to help them, create a win-win opportunity for them as well, right?
Absolutely. And, interestingly, some owner-operators, small carriers, when we spoke to them, they said, hey, I call this broker. On this lane, I always call this broker. They don't even shop around. I know we talk about there are 8 loads or 7 loads for each available truck. Trust can make such an impact. This particular example, this guy drives from Maryland to Florida, and every time he drives that, he calls this particular brokerage and that particular person at that brokerage. And that is the dependency, right? That level of trust that these guys have. And, in many ways, that's how the brokerages are also built, right? I mean, they aggregate these small carriers into one solid, capacity pool for bigger shippers. That's a consistent pool, right? So.
Yeah, and that's a great example. I think it also speaks to the importance of relationships there, right? And relationships and trust, go hand in hand.